Evening. Welcome everyone to the Epic Chef Showdown. Boy, do we have a phenomenal night in store for all of you. Come on, come join us. We've got an amazing lineup. I'm so grateful to be here with you. I'm Jamie. I'm your host for the evening, guiding you through this nutritious competition and a celebration of food, one of Epicure's favorite things to do with the beautiful community. All of you, hundreds of you virtually joining us tonight, could not be more grateful for your presence. And for those of us here at the park, all of whom are fully vaccinated, by the way, thank you, science. Love that, and I love being able to commune in person again in this beautiful space. Wow, thank you to the park for hosting us. We're what they call a work-life compound. It's amazing. This campus is beautiful. We are just minutes outside of Manhattan on 185 forested, gorgeous green acres. It's a beautiful day here, and there are miles and miles of walking trails, of dog runs, of outdoor space to commune, and of course, you guessed it, dine, because we love to do that, right? Other beautiful dining facilities here, co-working spaces, office spaces, a state-of-the-art fitness facility, a clinic on site, all sorts of wellness services and dietetic services. What an incredible space that really shows you the physical embodiment of the mission that Epicure and AbbVie and the park are all about. And I really do wish you could all be here with me in person, but since you can't, I highly recommend you check them out at thepark.nj on Instagram. We're gonna put up a slide that you can take a screenshot, you can take a picture, because we would love for you to share this beautiful experience with your respective communities. So tag us, use the hashtag Epic Chef Showdown, and share some of the expertise and the delicious food that we know we're gonna serve up for you this evening. And so we do this all the time. We love building community at Epicure, right? It is near and dear to our mission, because food isn't just about what helps you heal or about indulgences. It's really about the coming together of people to celebrate our cultural and emotional and social nuances, right? So that's what we're going to bring to you, and that's what we love to do every single day to doorsteps across the entire nation. We are serving up food that's not just medically tailored to be GI friendly and to help you thrive, but also brings these beautiful, curated, delicious experiences to you, because you shouldn't have to choose between your health and a culinary experience. Part of those culinary experiences have been wonderfully enhanced by our partnership with AbbVie, who is one of our hosts tonight. We are on year 2 of our partnership to help not only bring these beautiful culinary delights to you, but also to help raise awareness about GI conditions. What are they? What are the symptoms? What to look out for? Where to find expertise? And AbbVie has been such a wonderful partner in bringing that to life. This year, we kicked things off in March, where all of you voted between 4 different dishes. We had a potage de lettuce, a bacalao stew, a ginger wombat chicken, and a sea bass with pineapple green sauce. You all voted, hundreds, thousands of you around the world voted on what should go on the Epicure menu. It will be live tomorrow. And this is your first of 2 winning moments that you guys all get to experience tonight. And I am delighted to introduce Epicure chef and an incredible healer, an amazing human being who I am privileged to call my colleague. Chef Danny Chavez Bello has honed his craft around the world, from El Bulli in Spain and Mugaritz in Spain. He was voted Chef of the Year in Germany. We were lucky enough to take him from Boulet after he helped to create their nutritional training program. And now he's bringing those many years of global Michelin star experience to Epicure and to all of you, starting with the winning dish. Danny, what has won between those 4 dishes? Are you excited?
Here it is. I don't want to say the name. You're going to see. It's beautiful Polynesian civet. It's a beautiful civet with inspiration in the French cuisine. Inspiration also with beautiful fruits and gorgeous products from the Caribbean and from the Polynesian, basically, the South Pacificness. And we got this cooked perfectly and curated for all of you guys.
I wish you could smell it. Oh, it's so good. I'm so hungry. I hope you guys got your boxes at home. You're going to get to try Team 1's potentially winning dish. They're all winners, let's be honest, because these are beautiful foods that Danny has created for us, as well as Team 2's dish. which we'll go into more detail soon. But hopefully, like, heat it up, get them out, start dining with us, and enjoy, right? Thank you, Chef, for that. So let me tell you about tonight's agenda. We have these two incredible teams who will be presenting their dishes to see who will be crowned the epic chef. Before that, we're going to talk with world expert GI, Dr. Alejandro Suarez, and then two registered dietitians, Zach Breeding and Christy Going, who will take us on a deep dive into the nutrition. And then the main event, where we have Danny leading team one with Zach, and Chef Brian Beestrong of the park here leading team two along with Christy Going. Let me tell you about Chef Brian. He is also incredible. We're so grateful to be working with him. He's worked alongside acclaimed chefs such as Wolfgang Puck, David Goulet, Gray Combs, and Bernard Loiseau, and brings a wealth of culinary knowledge, experience, and passion here to the park at Table and Banter Hospitality. He leads the culinary program here, where he ensures there is an emphasis on fresh ingredients and a focus on a healthy diet as part of overall wellness. We love that that's so important to you, and of course, you're a kindred spirit. So after you see each of those two teams present, which many of you will be trying at home this evening, you will be able to choose through a Zoom poll that will pop up on your screens who is the winner. You get to be the judge and decide who gets crowned epic chef. So stay tuned, cheer on our chefs, and watch as low FODMAP, gluten-free, and GI-friendly masterpieces come to life in the kitchen. The meal with the most votes will win, and that will be live on our menu very soon. Just a couple of last housekeeping items before we jump into the rest of our agenda. You will all be muted with video off, as you can see, for the duration of the event. But of course, we'd love to hear from you. So if you have questions, if you have feedback, please feel free to type those into the chat function below. And I also recommend you hover to the top right of your panel to select gallery view, so you can see all of our incredible speakers at once. And speaking of our incredible speakers, the first is Dr. Alejandro Suarez. He'll be joining us now. All right, Dr. Suarez is a board-certified private practice gastroenterologist at Palmetto Digestive Health Specialists in Charleston, South Carolina. His clinical interests lie in gastroenterology, colorectal cancer prevention, with special interest in GI oncology, pancreatobiliary disorders, and interventional endoscopy. I practice it and still I stumbled over it. Dr. Suarez, I appreciate it.
No, you did
He completed, thank you. You're very generous. That's why we love you. He has completed his internship and residency in internal medicine at the University of Florida, and his gastroenterology fellowship was completed at the Medical University of South Carolina, and his advanced endoscopy fellowship at Yale University. He has published numerous peer-reviewed articles in medical literature with interest in therapeutic endoscopy, including the American Journal of Gastroenterology, gastrointestinal endoscopy, surgical endoscopy, and gastroenterology. That is a mouthful. You've done a ton. You bring a wealth of expertise. We're so grateful for your time and to be able to talk to everyone here, the hundreds of people dialing in, not just for the great food, but for the education and the expertise that you bring. These can be tricky subjects, right? So tell us more. Let's back up. Let's talk about exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. I mean, who's heard of that? You can react and raise a hand if you've heard of it, but it's okay if you haven't. Dr. Suarez is going to enlighten us now.
Yeah, so, overall, I'm really glad to be here tonight. And it's just exciting to have so many viewers interested in overall GI gut health. And really, not only is it going to cause symptoms as we typically have, and you come to your provider for abdominal pain, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, but it can also cause fatigue and just decrease exercise tolerance. So it's really important that we know the therapy and what the role of nutrition is, because they can exacerbate these symptoms. And it's really important to know because about 60 to 70 million people in America are affected by digestive diseases. And
it's a ton of people.
Yeah, nutrition is a very important role. So that's why it's so important to tailor these food groups that these amazing chefs are tailoring nutrition, optimizing this nutrition, and optimizing the gut health for a lot of folks out there. So I'm really excited to see this showdown. And speaking of the digestive diseases, that's really important. We're going to be discussing about, exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which is
Yeah.
really important.
It is, right? And you talked about some of these symptoms, but like, let's back up. Like, what
Yeah.
is EPI or exocrine
So,
pancreatic insufficiency?
yeah. So pancreas, when I tell you about the stomach, you know where that's located, right? It's right in the middle, the abdomen. When somebody says, I have a tummy ache, you can actually point to it and you grab your abdomen. So when you say I have a pancreas issue, well, you think about, well, it's sugar levels. Somebody's on insulin, and that's what really pops up. But actually, the pancreas actually has a very important role in digestion. It really does. And digestion not only carbohydrates, proteins, but also fats. So exocrine pancreatic insufficiency is a medical condition whereby there's a lack of proper digestion, and that is by a lack of enzymes. So your pancreas secretes these enzymes from the pancreas, the organ itself, into the small bowel, and there's lack of proper digestion, such as fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. And the pancreas, if you look at, and I show my patients like and the anatomy and where it's located, it's actually located behind the stomach and in front of your spine. So it's hiding.
We
And
all think it's in our side, right? Many of us, like you said, you grab your side and think that's where your gallbladder.
right, they think
This
the
is great.
gallbladder, the liver,
Yeah.
and then if you point to the middle of your abdomen, you're like, that's the stomach. But the pancreas actually hides behind it, and it's a proper anatomy where it's located. It's just a proper fit because it is very underdiagnosed, misdiagnosed. So it's hiding among all these symptoms that can mimic other conditions that are very common.
What sort of conditions does it mimic?
Well, it does mimic a very common condition that patients are diagnosed, such as irritable bowel syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's because the symptoms are just like it, and they include abdominal pain, abdominal bloating, diarrhea. I know it's a dinner time and everything, but we got to talk about this.
We're all friends here. You're part of the
Yeah,
Epicure family now, everyone. So no taboo subjects. We got each other's back here.
Love it, love it. I mean, there's so many patients out there that, or folks that go to a restaurant and they're like, I have to go sit by the bathroom, and it's like going on a flight when they're afraid of flying. They're looking for the exit doors, and that's what it is for folks that have this condition. And
I
before
bet you hear that a lot from your patients, right? That the social impact of all of these conditions is very real, right? It can be very isolating, which is compounded by a tough year that we've all had, which is, again, another reason why we're really grateful to have your guidance here, because it's hard to know what to do, how to recognize these things.
So yeah, it's very important that you understand what the condition, abdominal pain, bloating, diarrhea, particularly after eating, and understanding as well that, when you go see your provider, diabetes also plays a very associated role with exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, and nutrition plays an important role in enabling to minimize the symptoms, but as well as also to minimize exacerbating the symptoms. So it's really important, nutrition. And then the nutritionists will also talk about how the result of not only just having symptoms with EPI, but having a lack of certain nutritional vitamins, like fat-soluble vitamins, that are very important to minimize risk of osteoporosis. So learning about EPI is really important. And the way you can do to get a little bit more is do the homework, okay? Understanding the symptoms that you have related to certain foods, and then you're able to really have all this written down for your provider so then they can give a diagnosis, and it's actually very easily managed. And your primary care physician could be one that diagnoses it, or your local gastroenterologist as well.
When do you know that it's time to go see a clinician? Like, because all of us, have some of those symptoms now and then. So at what point do you say, all right, I'm going to raise my hand, I'm going to go see a doctor and get help for these symptoms?
So, the tips of eating good health and optimizing your health is really just drink plenty of fluids, right? That's really important. Eating small meals throughout the day. And then having a well-balanced diet, carbohydrates, proteins, and then fats, avoiding alcohol, doing everything that your mother had told you as a kid to do, doing the right thing. But then when you start having these symptoms and persistent, despite doing all the right things and eating the right foods, then that's when you should seek, your local primary care physician or a local provider, or definitely your local gastroenterologist. So they can start figuring out, okay, is this, certain GI condition or disorder, like irritable bowel syndrome, celiac disease, inflammatory bowel disease, but definitely keeping in mind exocrine pancreatic insufficiency.
And what is getting a diagnosis? What does that look like? What does that entail? Is it like invasive testing? Is it just like a conversation? How do you get like fact around what it is that you're experiencing?
So a lot of these conditions can be clinic diagnosed, and definitely exocrine pancreatic insufficiency really just takes a sit down with your provider, but having notes, right? It's important for you to also take on a role that, you got to do your homework. You got to see all the symptoms that have exacerbated, and you're going to have all this down, and you got to be free too. Don't be embarrassed. Trust me, I have had patients bring me their stool and show pictures, and it's okay. It's a relaxed environment. Feel free, don't be embarrassed. And that's what's really important. And then they're able, once they have a good history, they're able to diagnose exocrine pancreatic insufficiency just by a really good history taking and a physical exam. And it's that simple.
That's incredible. And so that's getting a clinical diagnosis, which might be a new term for some of you. So just from your symptoms, they can take a score and say, all right, this is EPI, and rule out some other potentially more severe things, right? And how are there signs or reasons somebody might be concerned that these symptoms are something more severe than EPI?
Yeah, so there are alarming symptoms or flags that we call our unintentional weight loss, rectal bleeding, and then associated with that abdominal pain, weakness. I mean, these are things we want to make sure we're not missing, pancreatic cancer, colorectal cancer as well. But your provider will be getting these flags, and please definitely don't be embarrassed to discuss about this. But those can be ruled out quite quickly with certain, procedures and availabilities in your local provider that provide you, or gastroenterologist, and they'll do a really good job at doing that.
When you do testing, like for example, checking enzymes, what sort of tests might one expect when they come see someone like you, Dr. Suarez?
So typically, patients that have, diarrhea, abdominal bloating, will do a stool test and to check any infectious causes. But that stool test will include what's called a pancreatic elastase. And that is actually one that will provide us more of objective measurements in regards to the diagnosis of exocrine pancreatic insufficiency. Remember, it's a lack of an enzyme. And so that is what we test for. But overall, your provider or your gastroenterologist, they can spot it right then on just a good history and a constellation of symptoms that you've been having. Remember, Jamie, these folks have been having this problem for years, chronically. And so right away, they'll say, listen, fats, they bother me when I have them, and they'll be food phobic too. They have been going for a long time, changing their diet and doing different, gluten, lack of gluten, dairy products don't go right for me, but I can tolerate that. And so they've gone through different procedures. So EPI is something that is very underdiagnosed, and they've gone through actually a lot of other diagnoses been labeled for years, up to 10 years, these patients. So it's hard to find, but you got to keep your antennas up, and definitely on the part of the patient or the one that's going to the doctor. I want to have all those out there aware of it so they can get to that diagnosis quicker than just 10 years.
Absolutely. And that's why we're so grateful for you being here, for our partnership with AbbVie, and for all of you sharing with your communities right now. Because again, as Dr. Suarez said, this is highly underdiagnosed. People are unaware. And guess what? It's not so hard to get a diagnosis. And then Dr. Suarez, what happens next? You're diagnosed, and then what? Is this treatable? Can they find relief? What happens?
Oh, it's very treatable. There's a therapy that your gastroenterologist will provide you, and it's a medication. It's very simple. And it's taken daily. And there's information on the website as well that provide you. And then you will get connected with a nutritionist, because that's what's really important. not only you're providing fuel for your gut health, but you want to provide the right fuel that will not exacerbate the symptoms, and then you're just optimizing your health.
Mhm. And that website Dr. Suarez just mentioned is identifyepi.com. There are great tools and resources there to find help, to check your symptoms, get all sorts of useful information. So definitely share that with your community, your loved ones. Identify EPI, a great resource. Thanks for that shout out, Dr. Suarez. That's terrific. And I also really appreciate that you flagged for us the disordered eating in this community. We're going to take a deep dive into nutrition in a few minutes, but you had mentioned, I just want to, highlight them. One, these simple bullets that you had around what somebody can do right away to start finding some relief and taking care of themselves. I think you mentioned hydrating and smaller meals. Will you go over those again? I think they're really helpful.
Yeah, so drinking plenty of fluids is really important throughout the day. Don't reach to the point where you're thirsty. That's too late. So, and we get very busy now during the day with work and activities, taking care of kids, which I do have two little ones, and I give all the praise to my wife. I don't know how that she does it, but anyhow, you got to drink a lot of fluids, and you have to do that actively. It's really important. The other thing is you want to keep the furnace burning, and that's by doing frequent small meals throughout the day. And then providing yourself a well-balanced diet, making sure that you have plenty of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats, and not to overindulge in any one of those, but a well-balanced diet. And then eating the right things, right? And avoiding alcohol, and obviously no smoke and no smoking, obviously. But eating the right things is important. But as you start to know what are the right things, is by knowing what's exacerbating your symptoms, right? And what's making you minimize these symptoms. And you finding out what's right, it will be able to be tailored by your provider and then your nutritionist as well as your gastroenterologist.
That's awesome. So there's relief. There are small tips here that you can start to, improve your relationship with food. And that's what tonight is all about too. We want to make eating joyful, and it doesn't have to be restricted and limited in terms of what you eat and your enjoyment of food. Again, you don't have to compromise between enjoying a culinary experience and taking care of your health. And so once you follow some of these small tips, you start to find some relief and enjoyment. Hopefully you start to enjoy more beautiful culinary creations like we're sharing with you this evening. I love that. It's very inspiring. It's hopeful. I think a lot of people in the GI community really benefit just from that, like, knowledge that, hey, there's help. It's around the corner. There are people like you, Dr. Suarez, who are leveraging this team-based care model, talking about dietitians, referring to dietitians. You also mentioned keeping a food diary. What does that look like? What should we be writing down? Do I need to get into all the details of calories and macronutrients, micronutrients? What do you need to know for that to be a helpful tool for a patient to share with you?
Yeah, I think what's really helpful is tracking the certain foods that definitely exacerbate your symptoms.
Mhm.
When you start, I think having more of the protein, carbohydrates, fats, and then knowing, okay, well, I've had these fatty, greasy foods, and you need to write it down, because it's just very hard for you to know what you ate 3 days ago, and then when did I have my symptoms? Was it 4 days ago or 5 days ago? So I know you've probably heard it a lot, please come back to my office and have a food diary. And it's and you roll your eyes, okay, I'm going to do a food diary. How's that going to help? But it really does, because it's very hard for you to make correlations between certain food products. But I would break down more into fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Uncooked vegetables is another example. And nutritionists can start diving into the FODMAP diet, which can be very comprehensive. But just, I think the tidbit that I give to my patients is really find out what are the certain food groups that really cause the exacerbation of symptoms, and then you bring that to your provider, and they'll go down that list, and they'll be able to really find out exactly what conditions may be this cause or related to.
Mhm. That's terrific. That's helpful. And again, we should be eating the most expansive diet possible, right? Gone are the days of the good and bad. We don't look at things that way. It's about tailoring food that makes you feel good and helps you thrive. Again, not just having a happy belly, but also, again, those cultural and social and emotional elements of things that food is necessarily a part of. It's one of life's greatest pleasures, right? Is like dining with loved ones and enjoying a meal. So let's bring that back, right? Like they're not mutually exclusive.
Absolutely. My background, my parents are Cuban, so we were always, and then my wife's Italian. So can you imagine the family dinners?
Yes, and I'm getting hungry.
So it's really important that we enjoy life, and life also is with friends, family members at a dinner table, sharing food, and not worrying about symptoms and just enjoying it. So it's really important that we know everybody's built different, everybody's has different flavors. So it's really important to know your health, your gut health, what you have symptoms, what you don't have symptoms with, and then the chefs that we have here, nutritionists, tailoring this diet toward our makeup, our genetic makeup, will make us thrive in life and enjoy life that much better.
Well put. Oh my gosh. So grateful for you, for your time here this evening. We're going to invite you back after our competition. I can't wait to hear who you're voting for, Dr. Suarez. So just a heads up, I will put you on the spot and have you tell us what you think about these two dishes tonight.
Listen, I got some bets going on, okay? Background here, okay?
I love that. I love that. And it's a perfect segue to now transition into chatting with our two nutritionists. We're going to invite Zachary Breeding and Christy Going to join us, GI experts, other incredible clinicians to chat with us this evening. I think we queued you guys up really perfectly. Dr. Suarez knows his nutrition, which is amazing to see a GI that well-versed. Before we jump in here, let me introduce you guys to everyone. So first we have Zachary Breeding. He is the owner of Sage Nutritious Solutions, a personalized nutrition and private chef company, and is the food systems dietitian at the VA Medical Center. Zach's focus includes culinary arts, outpatient gastroenterology, cystic fibrosis, integrative oncology, and GI surgeries. Wow, that's a lot. You're an expert. I love it. He is the recent recipient of the Emerging Leader in Dietetics Award from the Pennsylvania Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. And Zachary is also the founder and president of a nonprofit, the Mandy Wagner Foundation, with the mission to improve the lives of those living with cystic fibrosis. Again, you can follow him on Instagram at ZCooks. I know he's about to drop some knowledge, so you all are going to want to put those quotes up and tag him. I love chatting with you, Zach. I love your energy and have benefited already so much from your expertise, as have we from GI registered dietitian Christy Going, also joining us here on screen. She is a registered dietitian with over 15 years of clinical practice with a focus in gastroenterology, oncology, and surgery. She's led a large team of dietitians in a large healthcare system, including inpatient and outpatient dietitians, specializing in treating patients with GI disorders, cancer, and cystic fibrosis. Christy enjoys educating clinicians on a variety of topics, including exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, and finds this to be an engaging and enjoyable work that impacts the care and quality of life of patients. Thank you both so much for being here and for what you do. Like, you guys are making such an impact for people every single day. I'm beyond thrilled to chat with you. How's it going, guys? Zach, let's turn to you. Like, tell us a little bit about your expertise and how you ended up here with us this evening.
Thanks, Jamie. No, this is great. I love working in the pancreas because dietitians are
I love
such
that
nerds.
you love that. Who loves that? That's amazing.
I mean, it all started when I was working in cystic fibrosis. And my passion with cystic fibrosis stems back from my best friend, Mandy Wagner, who I opened up the foundation for in her name. She unfortunately passed away when she was 25, but we were best friends for 21 years. And I had a close personal connection to CF for so long that when I became a dietitian, I really wanted to help back and provide nutrition counseling to that community. And the more I learned about the pancreas and all that it can do, the more I got really passionate about oncology, about GI surgeries, about outpatient GI, all these different areas, because I mean, let's face it, when you have a gut condition, it really can stem from so many places, as Dr. Suarez had mentioned.
Right.
And it made me realize about 4 years ago that I actually have celiac disease. Now, as an Italian, that was terrible because I thought, oh my gosh, I couldn't eat pasta. But the great part is that a healthy diet doesn't have to be, not delicious, as we'll see in the meals we're going to show off today. Yes, yes, absolutely. And it's all about eating what's delicious, what's nutritious, what's good for your body. And what's good for your body is so individualized. And having such good culinarians provide such delicious food from Epicure, I've been so happy to have tried so much of it. And that's why I'm here tonight, is because I support the mission of Epicure, and I'm really excited to see what the chefs have to pull out tonight.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And Christy, how about you? We're so grateful to have you as well.
Yeah, thanks, Jamie. It's so great to be here. This is so fun. As you mentioned, I worked with patients for years, and it's one of the greatest places to work is in the GI area, because as a dietitian, you have so much satisfaction because you can help people. And I think one of the perceptions of a patient sometimes when they first see us is, oh, I'm going to have to go see the food police. They're going to tell me this or that. But really, we want to help you eat as much as you can, a variety, like you mentioned, and all the different tasty foods that are out there, and with minimizing the symptoms. It's so rewarding to see patients do that. So I'm so thrilled that Epicure is out there and providing, like Zach said, I got a chance to taste so many of them, and they were all just such a cool thing and so many delicious options. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what we come up with next.
So fun. I know. And so you guys each got to work with one of our chefs tonight. What was that like? I know it's like you have like a culinary background already, so maybe it was old hat to you. I don't know. I'd love to hear from each of you around what that was like.
Do you want to go ahead? Do we go ahead, Christy? What do you? I love ladies first, but
there you go.
It's up to
Me
you.
too. I'll
That's
take a chair
lovely.
here. Yeah, I mean, it was just fun to see what he had, some different ideas, and we kind of had something to start with, and just talking through what patients could tolerate, and why the importance of some of the nutrients in the dishes themselves, like all the different macronutrients that we talked about, like the fat and the protein and the carbs and all the different functions that those have. And how can we balance out the meals, and then just some ideas on, can we add this or that, and what can we pair it with? And that was just a lot of fun, that creativity, and he thought of a lot of things that I wouldn't think of, so that was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Totally. So you made all of the like nutritional requirements, all the macronutrient like levels and things like that, the medically tailored aspect of it, completely invisible. And again, I hope everyone out there is enjoying these dishes that were created. And you never know. It's not like eating quote unquote, healthy hospital food or something where you feel like you're really limited or restricted and it's bland, and you made it invisible to everyone, which is beautiful. What was it like for you, Zach?
I mean, I love Chef Danny. We have we actually worked in some of the same food establishments back in the day when I was working as a chef. So that was a really great way of building camaraderie with Chef Danny. Yeah, I mean, my undergraduate degree is in culinary arts, and I worked as a chef for about half a decade before I even decided to become a dietitian. And, one of the best parts about working with Chef Danny is I noticed how many micronutrients he had in his recipe. Now, if someone has EPI, as Dr. Suarez alluded to, those vitamins, those fat soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, are so important in folks with EPI. Now, a lot of the foods that are in the recipes contain these micronutrients, specifically vitamin K and A, which come from wonderful, colorful vegetables. Vitamin E is found in a lot of fatty foods like olive oil and salmon and different, fat-containing foods. And vitamin D is from the sun. So get outside while you eat. Super great nutrient there. And Chef Danny and I had a really good partnership with talking the recipe out, optimizing its nutrition, optimizing its flavor profile, which is arguably, more important because it could be as healthy as you want, but if it tastes like garbage, no one's going to want to eat it.
Exactly.
But thankfully, all the foods through Epicure have been so delicious, and these recipes tonight are no exception.
Well, thank you for that. We really appreciate it. That's what gets us up every day. Every single one of us at Epicure is to bring these delightful experiences and make medically tailored just kind of an invisible thing, and just hope people enjoy. And we also really believe strongly in the role of the registered dietitian. Like, a dietitian should be on everyone's care team. Frankly, I think a chef should be on everyone's care team too, right? but I know you guys work with a lot of other practitioners. We hear about that as a best practice, right? Like we should have different modalities in a care team. Who should be on a care team? What is it like getting a referral from other practitioners? And how do the people listening ensure that they're getting referrals to folks like you who can really help tailor their nutrition? I'll toss it up. Whoever wants to answer, go for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing is to advocate for yourself and to tell your patients to advocate for what they feel that they need. The best part of working in a multidisciplinary practice is that you get to every provider gets to approach their patient at the same clinic visit or in the same hospital visit. I mean, I had that experience in oncology and in cystic fibrosis. And the best part about that is that every provider is your advocate in every specific way, so that if you have a nutritional issue, you see the dietitian. If you have a socioeconomic problem, you see the social worker. If you have something that is going on medically, you have several doctors there to help, maybe even including a psychotherapist. You know, as Dr. Suarez mentioned, there is some disordered eating and in a lot of gut issues because of the fear of eating. You know, talking it over with a therapist is as important as talking nutrition over with a dietitian.
Yeah. And there's wonderful research to show the benefits of gut-directed hypnotherapy, mindfulness. These are wonderful practices that we're seeing employed very frequently now in practice, which is wonderful because, again, the research is there. It shows it's effective in helping people get symptom relief, which is what it's all about. Christy, any other thoughts do you want to chime in with on, you know, building your holistic care team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really, most of the time it starts with your physician, right? You go to see your provider because you're having problems, and that's the first thing people think to do, which is great. And asking those questions like, who can I see, or is there anybody else that can help me? Who can I really talk to really, dial down into my diet? Because your physicians, of course, are busy, and even the best GI physicians, that's why we're there, is to help them out, to help you, and really to be able to hone in on all the nutritional aspects, making sure you're getting enough of those fat soluble vitamins that Zach referred to, but then other things too, like it might affect, how much iron you're absorbing, and it just how well your gut is absorbing food. That actually can be a big factor if you've had lots and lots of diarrhea, that can kind of impede some absorption that you can get back if we can get your nourishment back up. So yeah, even asking what resources are available to you is a great first question.
Absolutely. And so tell people out there, what is it like working with a dietitian? So let's say you get the referral, as everyone should, then what?
Yeah, so I think especially with GI issues that are happening, we'll want to know all your symptoms, just like Dr. Suarez talked about. We want to know all the details, and we'll ask you a lot of detailed questions, and we'll get to know each other quickly. But it's good because that helps us help you. And I may have patients do food diaries like was talked about earlier, and knowing the time that you ate the certain things and all the details. I want to know, did you put sunflower seeds on your salad? Did you put, oil and vinegar dressing? Things like that are going to be really important to understand, and not being shy. Maybe I had fried food, or I did pizza, whatever. I'm here to help you.
Hopefully you enjoyed the heck out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. We want you to enjoy all those things. All foods can be part of a healthy diet if we can figure out the right way to balance it for you. And then we'll be able to hone in on your tolerance and work with you probably over time. It takes some time to learn your own body and what it can tolerate, and what foods to maybe minimize or even completely avoid. And so, I think patience is key to trying to work those things out, but I'm confident we can make you feel better.
Absolutely. And hey, if that wasn't post-worthy, all foods can be part of a healthy diet. Like, I don't know what is. Spread the word. Everybody, tell everyone you know. I love that so much. It's really important. We've got a really toxic culture around diets and what works and doesn't, and why we do the things that we do. So I really love and embrace both of your philosophies here. And the fact that you're sharing that with people every day, and the hundreds of people joining us tonight, is really phenomenal. So thank you. Big shout out for that. So everyone should benefit from your expertise, like people are tonight. How do people find folks like you? Where do you find an RD? Let's say you don't get a referral from a PCP or a GI. where can people go to get your expertise?
So one of the best resources actually is the Find a Provider section of eatright.org, which is the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics website.
Love that.
It's a map of dietitians all around the country. There's also healthprofs.com, which is basically a listing of health professionals, and you can search for your area by expertise of all the registered dietitians in your area. Some take insurance, some are cash only. But the website tells you everything that you'll need to know before you select any provider, including the registered dietitian.
Love that. Thank you so much. Hopefully everybody took note on that site, share it widely. So we talked about GI friendly meals and we're about to taste some and see how they're prepared, but can you each give us a little background? What does that mean? What is a GI friendly meal? We touched on it a little bit, but I don't know, Zach, you want to dive in? What does that mean to you?
So a GI friendly meal is one that does not upset your belly. I mean, my gut is not your gut, is not Christy's gut. And so that is one of the best parts about the FODMAP diet is it really helps to isolate a lot of those things that might be not so gut friendly. So you choose the friendly foods that don't upset your belly and don't give you any symptoms like gas, bloating, or abdominal cramping, or diarrhea, or any of those other fun things that happen. And choosing foods that you love. Choosing foods that you love that also don't cause any symptoms. That to me is a gut-friendly meal.
Love that. Christy, anything to add?
I think
Really
that was
well put,
perfect.
right?
It was almost like hashtag worthy right there. The only thing I would say is sometimes it's an amount, some foods, it's just, I can have a half an apple and tolerate it just fine, but maybe the whole apple will give me problems depending on how big it is, right?
Yeah, and you guys can help identify those patterns and potential culprits, which is great. Is there anything you guys want to add around like why are these GI friendly meal options important for people with specific conditions like exocrine pancreatic insufficiency?
Yeah, I think back to what I said too about patience. It takes some time to learn all the nuances of your diet and how well your body's going to tolerate different foods. So I think this is a great jumping start to have meals prepared that for the most part should be fine. And working with your dietitian and your physician, you should be able to, incorporate all of those into your regular daily life. So I think that's a huge thing to just peace of mind that you have access to foods that dietitians and chefs have made that are delicious and are going to do well.
Absolutely. And we saw the sea bass with green pineapple sauce. Oh my gosh, looks so delicious. I haven't even tried it myself. I hate to say, I cannot wait to try it. It's live on the menu tomorrow. I cannot wait to get that delivery. And then one of your two dishes is going to win tonight as well. Anybody's guess at this point. We're all winners, let's be honest, when it comes to having delicious food. But with that, we are going to check out what is happening in the kitchen for our chefs. It's that time. It is the showdown, folks. Should we go see what they've got cooking in the kitchen?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's get mobile. Everybody come along with me. Let's check it out. Here we go. All right, we're coming, guys. Chefs, you ready for us? I cannot wait. These guys have been slaving in the kitchen for a while, absolutely working like crazy to bring you the most beautiful culinary experience. And hopefully you're trying them at home. Let's see what it's looking like in here. Hey, guys. Oh my gosh, they're fighting over. Are you guys ready to show down? The heat is up in here. Oh my gosh, I love it.
Danny's been talking smack,
You guys go way back. You've got some history, right?
Yes.
You were in the kitchen together, I believe. 8 years to today. History in the making. These guys, you have some competitive now. Yeah, you can tell. They do. They clearly do. Or is it collaborative? Tell me about this. Yeah, a little both. I like that. I appreciate that. You did. Tonight, are you on fire tonight? No burns, no fire. All right. Figurative fire, energetic fire. I love it. That's right.
No, I'm happy to be here, ready to do it.
We're so happy to have you here. Is this your first GI friendly sort of situation?
Yeah.
I love it.
No pressure.
Do you think that gives Danny the upper
I
hand?
think it does. He's kind of an expert. on
Oh,
this.
wow. Quite the compliment. Chef Brian, I like it. Well, that's lovely. All right, but now it's time to turn up the heat. We want to see you with your both best competitive spirit, right? We got to see what you got. Danny, get out of here. It's time to exhibit. Yeah, go on. So I don't know. Really, I think you're selling yourself short. Maybe no GI friendly meals before, but
No,
holy
healthy
cow,
meals, fresh foods, good ingredients.
near and dear.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, food tells you what's going on. So
Food tells you what's fine. It's true.
absolutely.
It
So,
speaks to your body.
Speaks to
I
your
love that. That's beautiful. That's I don't know, some words of food, maybe winning chef. You guys are gonna decide. Awesome. All right, you're up next. Danny's going first. All right. See you guys later. Here we go.
Hey, Zach.
Hey, Danny, how are you? Good to see you again.
Good. How are you, man? How's it going?
I am doing fantastic. I'm really excited that you turned this out. It's going to be fantastic.
That's great. That's great. I love what you say about the color food and the different amount of ingredients that I'm using here because it's part of the way I cook. You know, it's like the most ingredients, the most colors, the most different vegetables, more vitamins, more elements you get, more nutrients. So, and please explain a little
Absolutely.
bit about our dish tonight.
Absolutely. So this dish features so many different vegetables, and so it's really high in fiber. It almost offers 1/3 of the daily fiber you need in an entire day. And look at those colors. The colors of vegetables help to show you how fresh they are and how much nutrient profiles they are. While fresh vegetables are great in the spring and summertime, if you wanted to make this dish from scratch, you can always use fresh vegetables that are found in the wintertime, just as nutritiously. And you also notice there that there's chickpeas, which is a great source of protein for the dish. It contributes to some fiber as well. If you wanted to add more protein to this dish, you could always add other vegetarian protein sources like tofu, or if you wanted to add animal protein like chicken, that's also fine. But I love chickpeas, and they are a great protein source for this dish.
So let
And
me show you. Let me show you something. You talk about chickpeas. Look, this beautiful. Those
oh my
chickpeas
gosh,
are already reduced with the orange juice. So we don't
oh,
using fat here. We're using vegetables. We're using, you know, orange juice. We're using tons of different herbs. So we're building something from the scratch. But I got something already cooked here. So do you want to explain this? Look at this beauty.
one of the best things is that when you layer flavors, you start to build a foundation. You know, food is like a house. And so when you start with a good foundation of flavor with all those wonderful herbs and spices, you don't need a lot of salt and fat to cover up the other flavors. You just make
Absolutely.
every ingredient stand out on its own. And because you put so much citrus in there, this dish is also high in vitamin C, which is actually
Yeah.
really good too. Which it's a great antioxidant, good for immune support. And then your vegetables also bring in so much potassium. There's 855 milligrams of potassium in this dish, which is fantastic for one little dish. And the flavors are just, I mean, look at that. The colors, the flavors, I can almost smell it from here,
Yeah.
how delicious that's going to be.
And let me
Now-
tell you something, what you say about the antioxidant is very super important for us, for a chef, because antioxidant also give you the color, keep the color life in the food. Sometimes you cook something that goes down, but when it's rich in antioxidant, it goes up. And look, this is rich in vitamin C, as you say. This is full of antioxidant. It's just pepper. You don't need
Right.
more than pepper to get this, you know?
Yep.
That's great.
And
Let me
absolutely. And then you're also, what's great is that you're bringing all these FODMAP friendly vegetables and foods in together to not only be delicious, but gut friendly, so that anybody on any sort of version of the FODMAP diet can have all of this. And look how beautiful that is. Oh my
yeah, it's
gosh.
colorful. And it's something that, let me tell you, we all eating curries with coconut coconut milk. So this is not coconut milk here. It's just super important. It's just a reduction of orange juice, fruits, ginger, different things that, as you say, they're very, very rich in nutrients and very, very rich in antioxidants, which is something that we love when we cook.
Yes.
And the baby bok choy that I love to put at the end,
Oh,
it's a little bit
I
like
love baby bok choy so much.
like kind of a spice, but not really spice.
Are you sure you didn't put cream in here? I saw some cream.
It was in his kitchen.
I
The
saw
cream
it.
was in his kitchen.
He didn't see. He didn't see.
It's not
Coconut
true.
milk is
He's-
a great addition
know-
for evening out flavors and
Yeah.
mellowing out that ginger too.
And I love this. The okra for me is something so rich and so beautiful. And
How did you cook those baby bok choy, chef?
just blanch for 1.5 minutes, salted water, a little bit salt, not too much, boiling, then chugging chilling water. That's it.
So they're
Simple.
still a little crispy.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
you just finish with a little bit of, greens here, and this is a beautiful dish that you can build in, I don't know, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Look
Easy.
at this.
Who needs 30-minute meals when you have this? That
Yeah,
is
correct.
amazing. Oh my God, that's so beautiful. All the vegetables, all the nutrients, all that protein, the fiber will fill you up. I mean, what else do you need?
Maybe green tea, something like that.
I might have
That
a
would be
glass of
great.
wine perhaps with it, but
Yeah, I would say a tempranillo as well, but green tea is always good to finish.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, chef. That
Is
looks
it also
delicious.
the crown that you need? That's what
I
you're
mean,
going for, right? That
you
would
know-
be the achievement of this dish.
I mean, you know who has my vote?
All right, we're in the same team. Good. Don't vote
Absolutely.
For this
I mean, the little sweetness from the whipped cream, I heard. No.
guy. The whipped cream is in the other dish, not here, not here.
All right, guys, this is absolutely spectacular. I really wish everyone could smell this at home. Actually, you can. You have it.
Yeah,
Most of
yeah,
you had this
yeah.
delivered to your home, so try it out. Hopefully, you're enjoying it as you're seeing it here. And now it's time to try your second dish from the second team. Last but maybe not least, I don't know. It's going to be up to your
I'm not
votes.
gonna say anything, but I'm gonna walk
We'll do
around. I wanna
surely.
check what he's
Yeah,
doing right now.
exactly. Yeah, go inspect what's happening. And with that, we're gonna invite Christy to join us again, and we're gonna have Doctor.
Dr. Brian.
Eventually, Dr. Suarez, but Dr. Brian, our chef here, is gonna cook up the next dish. All right.
Christy, how are you?
Hey, Brian, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Excited to cook this dish, make this dish. This is great for the summertime. It's kind of a version of things that we used to cook in the restaurant for family meal. Some of my guys from Latin descent made this chicken salad. And so we're doing a version that we discussed what could go in it for the pollo azteca. So kind of a chicken salad, and you would eat it in tortillas normally, but today we're doing it in baby romaine. Again, we have lots of colors, lots of raw vegetables. We discussed also some of the vegetables. Could we grill it to give it a smokiness, change the flavor a little bit? So today, like the corn, I put on the grill a little bit. The tomatillo, which you see a lot in salsa verde, we grilled up and diced up. And then there's still zucchini and tomatoes, black beans, the shredded chicken that the recipe says boil. I actually poached it so it doesn't dry out, and I did it in chicken stock. So, and maybe you can explain better than I on all the vitamins and nutritional information on it a little bit. while I
Yeah,
put it together.
sure. Yeah, that all looks awesome, just laid out like that. I can't wait to see it all together. That chicken is, of course, it's packed with protein. So it's, it's really not a huge challenge if you're a vegetarian to get enough protein. If you're planning that correctly, there's a lot of things out there with protein, but if you add chicken to something like this, it's really easy. It's got 21 grams of protein. So I think we're beating the other team on the protein there, but that's just, my observation today. But yeah, you've got all those nutrients. Look at all those vegetables, all that color, like you said. Black beans have some protein and some fat in them and carbs. Actually, it's kind of got a little bit of everything. And then all of those vegetables, all that color, like Danny said, it's got a lot of different antioxidants, which are just something that's in plants that helps us fight disease. So there's actually lots of different, not just antioxidants, but all kinds of phytonutrients. Phyto means plants. So plant nutrients that go into food that we eat, the plants use to build and to grow in their life cycle. And then when we eat them on a cellular level, they're actually fighting disease for us all the time. So that's why you often hear, eat your fruits and vegetables. You know, we want all dietitians,
Yeah.
that's the mantra.
I like about this dish too, I find it super refreshing. It's all, summery vegetables.
Yeah, it's really fresh.
It's served kind of room temp cold. And then it has a lot of citrus as well. It has a lot of lime juice in it, fresh lime juice always. Just a little bit of salt we use.
And then what about I think you have cilantro and basil, some herbs.
Cilantro, basil, the greens of the scallions. This is a little olive oil that's been infused with garlic.
Yeah, great. Because you don't want to eat the garlic directly for FODMAP usually.
Fresh white pepper.
All that flavor is so good. And it's, a lot of those herbs that you're using, it's not just the flavor, it's so much nutrition in those too. And you don't really see a food label on a spice rack, but really there's so much more nutrition beyond the label.
I totally agree. I think also there's all this nutrition, but it's amazing with fresh herbs. I have Danny wanting some here. He's cheating. I'm in the bag. I have it. But it brings so much flavor to it. The other thing that we discussed, originally the recipe had the cocoa powder, and I discussed what about, cocoa nibs, and so using the same proportion of it. But what's great about the cocoa nib has that cacao flavor, but again, adds some texture to it. So, when you eat, you want all these different soft, crunchy, bright notes to it. And it's super easy to find in the store. And that's really it. I mean, you throw everything in, you could use a roasted chicken from the day before, take the skin off, pick the meat, and then you have your vegetables, and you could add other vegetables obviously as well.
Yeah, that looks delicious. Are there any nuts or seeds or anything that you would maybe top that with?
If I would, you find a lot in Mexican food, they use pepitas or pumpkin seeds. Yeah. And I would toast them up a little bit and then chop them up. Again, that would give you texture and flavor in there. And then finally, I have, some julienne of radish.
Radish seems to be used a lot in those dishes as well.
Yeah, and then
love that.
Not on the recipe, but you can find these in the farmer's market. These are watermelon radish. So kind of makes it pretty. Again, more texture.
Yeah, and so I think those nuts or something like that would be maybe not pushing the limit with fat if you're not using a lot. You wouldn't want to add tablespoons of it. And we discussed a little avocado as well, but avocado can add the fat grams really a lot faster. And
I was pretty surprised when you said we could use an eighth of avocado, and I kind of went, woo, kind of cried a little.
Get a taste of it, yeah. And then the corn tortillas too could be used, and those just add carbohydrates for the most part. They're pretty low in fat as long as you're not frying them up, in some oil or something like that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. You helped me a lot, and vote for us.
Yeah, vote for Brian. This is an awesome dish. I love it.
It's about that time.
All right.
This is also gorgeous. Danny got a bite. Are you still here? Oh,
I'm fine. Yeah. I can hear it now.
cool. Well,
Audio is
maybe
fine.
we're going through Danny's audio. Can we get some raised hands for to hear us? Awesome. All right, we're back.
We're back here.
We're also inviting back Christy and Zach and Dr. Suarez. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about, no one tonight has said the words food is medicine.
Food is medicine.
Food is medicine.
It is. Totally.
You know why? I just think it's part of our fabric. Like it's just becoming more obvious. It's not like medicine's also medicine, but like food heals, it nourishes, it helps us thrive, right?
At the end, everything comes from nature. The food, the medicine, all comes together.
It all comes from nature.
Nature.
I love that.
And the nature is
not mutually
community.
exclusive. Say that last part. Yes.
The table brings us all together.
Yes.
So important.
Beautiful. Yeah, Zach, go.
I completely agree. There's so much research to show that eating together can really do a great deal of health promoting benefits. So I agree, no matter what it is, make sure it's gut friendly, make sure you're together, make sure you're happy, make sure it's delicious, and make sure it's beautiful.
Right.
Smile.
Togetherness.
Smile.
Oh, the happy family in the kitchen here. I love this. So
That's
you guys,
how we.
hopefully, yeah. So we've heard the cases. Any last points anyone wants to make about their dish, why you should win? Chef Brian, we'll start with you.
Why I should win?
Yeah, why
I mean, I think both dishes are delicious. So this is really a matter of preference and taste, right?
Let's
Two
put it
different
together.
dishes.
All right.
We
All
just
right.
need
Yeah.
the two
Let's
dishes
see them
together.
both. I love it.
This is a lot of food.
Right.
One is curry.
Beautiful
One is
color.
it's Mexican inspired. Warm dish. This is a salad, lighter, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Both
All right.
of them has the
But
same
heartier
profile
and
of flavor.
yes.
This is two different corners of the world, but a lot of ingredients, common ingredients.
There are no losers here, folks. Is the moral of the story? I think what we're hearing. But Dr. Suarez, I said I was going to put you on the spot. What's got your vote?
Oh my goodness. I mean, they look delicious. I mean, I can't imagine the flavors and the texture on that. I mean, I just want to crunch that little, nice little lettuce there, salad. And I mean, I don't know. They're both winners in my book. I just need to be invited over their homes and maybe I can have a little bit of something. Okay. I'll put you guys on the spot.
Would you host Dr. Suarez?
Absolutely. No, it'd be great.
We can do a four-hands dinner whenever you
Awesome.
want.
Awesome. All right, Jamie, let's set it up.
Done.
Shut up.
Anytime. That sounds amazing. I love it. Zach and Chrissy will have to get you over here too.
Absolutely.
Oh, definitely. I'll hop on
That
the next
sounds
plane.
awesome.
Right?
We're there.
All right, everybody. So you've heard the cases, you've seen all the dishes. Hopefully you've been able to try them. Polls are open. It's up to you now. It's time to vote. Who's going to win? Who's going to be crowned Epic Chef? Which of these items should go on the Epic Cured menu? They will join our sea bass with green pineapple sauce which is live tomorrow. This dish will take a little time. We got to be able to, prep the kitchen. What happens, Danny, in Epic Cured kitchens when you decide, hey, we're going to put this dish on the menu? What does that process look like?
It's a little bit super easy process right now. Before it was complicated, all the research, how we get the ingredients, how we got the low fat, how we got a EPA friendly. But right now we're really strong, we're pretty consistent in what we're doing. And it's just a couple of days and we're gonna launch it. Whatever you decide is gonna be soon in the menu.
We have all the supportive dietitians, clinicians, gastroenterologists like these folks to translate that research. Yeah.
But if I win, I am going to be there the next
You
day.
gotta
and
come. You gotta come.
Make
You gotta
sure
come.
everybody's doing their job.
That's right. Go and supervise. I love it. Fun. I see the votes coming in. You guys better hurry. Get those in. Clock's ticking. We're about to call it. Tell us, who do you think? Which is it? We also have, tell them about the chicken cacciatore that we did. That's going to be coming back. Another exocrine pancreatic insufficiency dish that we curated last year. Tell us more about it.
And tomorrow we're gonna launch
The sea bass tomorrow,
sea bass is gonna be a hit, especially for the summer.
right?
So we're doing a fresh vegetable, colorful sauce, and then white fish. Which who doesn't like a white fish in summer? So
Love it.
that will be something really amazing that we're gonna launch in a couple of days.
Absolutely. And the chicken cacciatore that you made,
Yeah.
it's like an Italian dish, right?
Yeah.
And it has polenta, steamed
Polenta,
kale.
steamed kale. The cacciatore is cooking tomatoes. Has a lot of black olives. Different kind of Mediterranean flavors all together. Only a little bit of olive oil, which is also reaching, you know, as you guys know better than me, polyphenols and antioxidants. So this is amazing dish that we're doing for a year ago.
Yeah.
And we're gonna relaunch it
time
soon.
flies.
Yeah, it's too fast.
So from our three clinicians here, how does that chicken cacciatore sound?
I'm so ready.
Right?
I want that all over my face.
Yeah.
So we got 3 winners today. The chicken cacciatore and these 2 beautiful guys. So
And the hundreds of people watching right now who got to try these meals, I'd say we're all winning pretty well, right? Pretty handily. But only one can be crowned Epic Chef tonight. And I think we have an envelope bearer coming soon. Once it's called, I don't know. Can I see from here? Oh, dang, it's neck and neck. Do you guys see that? Don't look. Don't look. Gotta be a surprise, right? Here we go. All right, the results are in. Thank you, sir. Mr. Mike Corey from the Epicure team. And our control panelist tonight. All right, here it is. The results fly inside. Are we ready? Should we like drum roll or something? Okay, yeah, I like it. I like it. Perfect. Yes, let's see. Oh, I can't get the envelope open. Well done, Mike. All right, I got it. It is Chef Brian and Kristen. Congratulations. Honey with some basil or something. Here you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly.
I'd like to thank all the doctors and nutritionists for this wonderful award.
And the patients and all the patients.
Patients, yeah, they're the true winners. Yeah.
This is such by the
Definitely.
skin of your teeth, like close call, but congratulations. The pollo a la azteca is coming on the Epicure menu. That means you're gonna have to come down and supervise.
I
Chef
will.
Danny, are you ready for this?
Have the coffee ready.
you're ready for the kitchen?
I'm ready.
Exciting. Come on, come to the kitchen and we're gonna take a coffee
Absolutely.
as we did 10 years ago.
Absolutely.
You know that? With coffee.
That's what we call each other, coffee.
Oh, they have nicknames, everyone. How adorable. You guys could not be more
You know the
amazing.
story. He was always nervous in the kitchen.
Yeah.
In the middle of the banquet, he said, "Come on, let's take a coffee and we come back." That's
Aw. We bonded over food and beverage.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well, I hope you are all out there bonding over food, enjoying these beautiful culinary delights. Epicure and AbbVie, the park, we're all on a serious mission to help you thrive by leveraging the healing power of food, which includes these beautiful social experiences, the events that we keep bringing to you. Come join us for the next one. I hope you'll all get a chance to try the sea bass on our menu live tomorrow. Again, check out identifyepi.com for more information, to check symptoms, to share with your loved ones, because let's bring awareness to a higher level, shall we? People need to know what these conditions are and how to heal and thrive with food. We're really grateful to be part of your night. We hope you've had a wonderful time. And with that, bon appetit. We bid you adieu. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah.